for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don Brewer.
Here.
Art Christie.
Here.
John Horn.
Here.
Joanne Cow. Here. Kathy Jordan. Cliff Rebufo. Alan Shiner.
We have no old business. New business, Foxfire Mountain House, special permit. Is that you, sir?
Yes, it is.
Do you want to come up and
Thank you.
tell us all about it?
I have the larger maps here. You have copies in the file.
Thank you all very much. My name is Tim Trojan. I am the owner of Foxfire Mountain House, which is an LLC that is located at 72 Andrew Lane in Mount Tremper. Looking to start a small inn of 8 rooms with a restaurant and bar underneath. Primary use will be for guests and then also to try to bring weddings and events to the area. Fairly simple.
Okay, so let's see where this is.
Is this back where Crossroads?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, it's the property that was owned by the Emerson and Crossroads, and I purchased it back in March.
This is the white building all
It
the way
is.
at the end of the road?
Yeah, right at the very end of the road.
It's on the right side.
Yes. It's kind of on both sides. The road ends at my property and then continues on, and the property's on both sides of Andrew.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, right now, the old hotel has about 14 rooms, small, with 5 baths, and what we're proposing to do is convert it into 8 rooms, larger rooms, all with ensuite baths.
Say that again, please. How many bathrooms?
Well, in the end, we'll have 8 bathrooms for each room, and then we'll have 2 public bathrooms for the restaurant and the bar. So right now, there are 6 bathrooms, and we want to do some reconfiguring so that each of the new suites has its own ensuite bath.
When was this last used as a hotel?
As a hotel, it's been quite a while, I believe in the 1980s. It was used back in 2006 to 2008 as a boarding house for staff for the Emerson Hotel. So it has been used recently, but not as a hotel per se.
Not familiar with, I guess, what was the office building or Crossroads?
Right,
Is that all connected? It's all one big building?
No, there are 2
No.
buildings. There's a bungalow, which is now my home, that I believe was the office for Crossroads, and then there's the main hotel building, which has the laundry facility for the Emerson, which they rent back from me, and then also the old hotel, which I've been in the process slowly of chipping away at.
So, the reason you need a special permit is because it's changing
The use?
the,
Well, it's also been many years since it was a hotel, so it's like a whole new, whole new thing. I mean, you know, 5 years.
need site plan.
They do site plan review and special use permit.
Tell us about some of the other places that you've done, Tim. Just give us an idea about.
My background, I've been in the hospitality industry all my life, since I've been 15 years old, mostly as a chef and food and beverage director, but also on the executive committees of the Crown Plaza hotel chain and also Whiteface Lodge in Lake Placid, New York. I've started and built a golf course with my family in the Finger Lakes, which we operated a small inn on that property, also in Naples, New York, and had worked for a while planning a resort on that property. It didn't come to fruition, but I have a lot of experience planning resorts, working in them, developing them, and operating.
Do you have any intention of expanding what's going on there, like?
If
I know
demand,
there's a lot of property.
yeah, there's 10 acres. If demand was there and it was possible, I would love to expand. But right now, you know, I want to fill the 8 rooms, see how that works out. We have the house that is in proximity. That the next idea is to turn that into 2 more suites if it's possible, and then we can look at building if it's under your master plan, if that's allowed, and if there's a demand.
Well, I'm talking about things like putting in an in-ground swimming pool and.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, there are lots of ideas in my head, but really what I'm looking at doing is starting off quite simply. We want to keep our debt load realistic, and we want to make sure that this works. We're confident that it's going to work. You know, I've had the experience. I know how to market. The area is burgeoning. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to staying here for a long time and having this prosper. So, you know, the pool would come in a few years if possible. There was an old pool there that had to be filled in, that was destroyed. You know, right now what we're going to do is try to attract weddings. We've got a couple tentative bookings of friends who will get married there as kind of test cases come this summer if everything works out, and then hopefully we can book that up and then book up through the year.
How many employees do you anticipate?
I'm hoping to start off with 5 to 6 and then grow from there. I know we're going to need a number of housekeeping staff. Although I've been a chef, I don't want to be working in the kitchen, so we'll need 4 or 5 people in the kitchen. So, you know, 5 full-time and then 3 or 4 part-time to kind of fill in, and then as need grows, we'll continue to go from there.
You have some pretty elaborate planting plans.
We hired a landscape architect to give us an idea of mostly what would be possible. That would be a 10-year plan at best coming through. What we wanted to know is what vegetation is going to grow in the area, what is indigenous to the area. We do like to use indigenous products. When I say we, my wife is involved with this also. She's in the city during the week and then comes up on the weekend. We hope that she'll be here all the full time once we get this going. But we wanted to see what could we do, what plants would be recommended, what were some ideas that we could go with. We want to keep things as natural as possible. I think the property is beautiful the way it is.
It is.
And I hope to keep it that way.
Now, this would be a regular restaurant, and not just when the weddings are there?
No, I would like to open it as a regular restaurant. Mostly restaurants are in my blood, that's what I've done for so long, so I would like to keep that. And, I look at places like Peekamoose and Cucina and Fish and Game in Hudson. And those are the type of restaurants that I've been part of. Would like to see a quality restaurant open on the weekends to service the clientele. And then we'll need to have food service for our guests during the week also. I want to be a full service hotel, so we will have limited service during the week, mostly for our guests.
You are going to be doing extensive repairing on the building.
A lot of repair. I want to keep the character of the building as much as possible. So the footprint's going to stay the same. All the moldings are going to remain the same. The windows, we're going to add interior storms. I want to keep the character. We uncovered a beautiful stone fireplace that had been boarded up, and we're exposing that. We've done a few structural things to beef it up underneath, it's called underneath, and done things like that. So the intention is to keep the place in its as original as possible, but to get it, as I had stated, to last another 100 years.
Kind of in all the way to place, but I guess you would need a sign out
On 28.
on 20.
If possible, I would like to do that. We're not going to be a type of hotel that's going to need drive-by traffic. People will book in advance, and they'll be able to just plug us in with the GPS and go from there. I hadn't really considered what type of signage, because I don't know what the sign laws are. to be frank, you know, and as we go along this process, hopefully you guys can tell me, you know, what is possible and what's not, so I can get, you know, a few signs to show. But I'm pretty convinced that we'll be able to do well like that, you know?
Well, we've always asked you about signs, but I guess here, your sign would have to be not on your property, so I guess, I don't know how that
Yeah.
works.
Well, our original sign will be on our property. What's nice is the property is a quick rise as soon as you come onto it, so I can put a nice sign on a pillar at a normal height, and you'll be able to see it from down the road and know where that is. Getting something to direct people, you know, working with the town to put a blue sign or something that would just say Foxfire Mountain House at that turn to give people an idea would be helpful, without a doubt.
So that building has 3 floors
It does.
in it. And you're gonna have rooms on the 3rd floor.
On the 3rd floor. There is a fire escape on the one side now, and if, part of the plan is to possibly divide the upstairs into 2 suites, which would require us to build a new fire escape on the back side to allow egress.
Do you know what the section lot is for this?
Yeah. No, he didn't, not on that one. 25.10. Block 1, lot 1. It's 10.4 acres.
10.04.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
10.04. And the part towards the road is R1.5. And very minuscule part up towards the mountain is R5.
So then where the building is R1.
1.5.
It's Andrew Lane.
Yes.
Now, your checklist you have checked off as done. Drawing the north arrow scale, accurate boundaries of property plotted to scale. But I don't see those maps here.
There was I handed in a green piece, I might have, it might not be the correct thing, so if it isn't, I apologize. A green sheet that was done to scale off of Google Maps. And I don't know if that, you know, that was an acceptable one, that was what I was handing in. If not, I'm gonna have to
This,
try to find it.
Yeah, that's not acceptable.
Okay.
It has to be surveyed. I see you had North Engineering.
Yes,
They have an engineer, or
Yes.
a land surveyor on staff, so.
okay.
Is there any, what portions of the property on 10 acres?
Wetland? No,
Speak of?
no.
What is it that he needs to obtain, John?
You have to have a accurate boundary map showing the building in relation to the property lines.
Yeah, I think we talked
We
about
did,
that.
we did. I tried, I went to the Ulster County office to see if they had one and wasn't able to find one right off.
They didn't have,
I'm gonna give it another try. A lot of people were out when I got there, so I'm gonna give that a second shot.
It'll show the grading and the drainage, it'll show some elevations so that we know, you know,
Right,
what water runoff is gonna be,
okay.
so.
All right, so we'll get that taken care of right away.
Thank you.
As soon as we can, yeah.
Is there gonna be pavement or gravel?
You know, I was just gonna use gravel so I would have natural drainage through it and also I enjoy the look, but
Will you be putting new lighting on the building?
nothing, we'll move the lighting, but nothing more than there already is. You know, there's lighting under the porch and the building itself will not be lit up. Except for the, you know, the exterior lighting over doorways and under the porch and things of that nature.
what about by parking?
Parking will have whatever lighting is required by the regulations.
Are you going,
bigger maps here.
There's
Yeah,
the
that's a
map right
big
there.
one. All the lighting should be down facing.
Yes, exactly.
We're gonna need to know where the septic is
Right.
in relation to.
And where all the parking is going to be.
Right, I know I don't have the septic set up yet, I'm working, I have to find a septic engineer, somebody who can work with that on me, that is something I've not started yet.
There must have been one for the old hotel.
Right, I know that there's a new septic put in for the laundry facility. And, you know, there is one at the hotel, there's, you know, it's working perfectly at this point in time. I just don't know where it is and what its capacity is and all of that.
Well, how many people lived there when it was staff housing for the,
I don't have a precise number, it seems like probably about 16.
Yeah.
yes?
Yeah, 16 or 20 people, 2 per room, there are 14 rooms, about 3/4 of the rooms were used.
I think you'd be able to get all that information from the Ulster County Department of Health.
I will, and I'll speak with Naomi at the Emerson also. I'm in contact with her, you know, with the lease and things like that, and she's been a good help in trying to get me started on this project.
Yeah. Is that a site?
No. Site plan, okay. I don't see a site plan here for some reason, unless I'm overlooking it. I see construction drawings.
Right. The only basic site plan I had was the landscaping
Yeah, that's-
plot that was done, and I did hand in a full one of that. I don't know what that is.
I see landscaping.
Right, yeah, this is what I have so far, and what I was hoping this meeting would do is kind of really give me an idea as to what I'm going to need, so I can get back to you with all the proper things. I don't have a lot of experience with that, and I was hoping you guys could give me guidance.
I didn't bring the full of the landscaping, because it's basically just a blown
Yeah,
up of
well,
this.
What we'll need, Tim, is we'll need a site plan,
Okay,
and then address all the questions here on the site plan checklist.
right,
In other words, that would be the meets and bounds of the property,
right,
where your driveway comes in, the location of the building, lighting, and if you go down the site plan checklist
Yeah.
here, and just put everything on the site plan,
okay.
because we have construction details here that we can see now.
Right.
These are a little hazy for me to try to
No, I
understand. what we have.
understood they are. That was the best I could get with that part, but right, so a plan like this laid out with where everything is going to
Right,
be
the
according to
parking,
that.
That's right.
Right,
You know, every, where the
Yeah.
septic is.
yes,
The emergency exit off, putting another emergency
Right.
fire escape,
Yeah.
and that has to be included.
okay,
Your lighting.
right,
We also need something from the health department, especially the fact that from hearing what you said, if the Emerson is gonna continue to use your laundry,
yes,
that's gonna have to be in the calculation with the updated usage of the
Right.
additional bathrooms.
right. And I'm going to need to go to the Department of Health, you said, to deal with that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna get a pen so I can make sure I have notes down.
Yeah.
I have a few.
Okay,
So the septic field
yeah,
is an issue, and they'll work with you, they'll probably have to get an engineer, north or whatever, to do the calculations
right,
for the gallons per minute. And then, excuse me, I'm sorry, Julie, North can also do the calculations for you, on how many parking places you'll need
right,
for, the people in the restaurant as well as the employees. And handicap.
Yeah, handicap,
and handicap
space,
spots, yes.
And also, if you're gonna be catering, you're gonna have to know a number that you can fit in there, and if you have that parking or something.
Yeah, right,
Once again, Tim, if you just go down the site plan checklist, then you put it all on
put
the
it all
site
in that
plan.
plan. We will do that and have that for next month, I hope. And see, you know, what type of things, I don't know what surveying is can be done in the middle of winter, if they'll be able to find stakes and that, but we'll work the best we can.
But you could, if you can, you could bring it back to us at our workshop,
Okay,
which is the first Wednesday of the month.
It's actually easier to survey in the wintertime, when you can see farther.
Oh, there we go, okay. All right, good.
And if you go down this list, you'll see that it says location of the dumpster. And
Right.
is it gonna be screened with things like that?
Exactly, I think, okay, good. I know where those will go, but I didn't know how to put those on, so I understand how that'll work. Good.
If you can just go down this list and put everything on that site plan checklist, then what we'll do is when we review the site plan checklist, we'll simply start with number 1,
Okay.
North Arrow.
Yeah.
And go right
There
up
it
to
is.
that.
Very good. Okay, so we'll get that done right away. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Don, can you pass me one? Oh, yeah.
So did you get this morning? This morning?
Yeah, that should come in. All right, okay, our next, we had,
Was
Alan,
Alan,
but
was
it's
Alan
not-
notified, was he notified that it was accepted to the board? and that-
Oh, yeah, I called him on that, yeah, and then I told him when our next meeting was, which happened to be the workshop that was canceled.
Uh-huh.
And I told him when I spoke to him,
Oh, yeah, of
we
course.
meet first Wednesday workshop, second Wednesday, a regular meeting. You can find information on our website, but I didn't call him to remind him to come this evening.
All right, okay.
Before you move ahead, Don dropped off the special permit under site plan review for Hanover.
But we have to refer that to the zoning board. The planning board would have to.
Yeah, just someone
So I didn't have time to put it on the agenda or anything. So it's gotta go on the next meeting? Can you discuss it at the workshop?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll take it as accepted this
Yeah.
evening, but it'll be discussed at the workshop.
Yeah.
Okay?
Did Al look at it, maybe, go through it?
No, Don just literally gave it to me.
Well, then it has to go to Al, and Al has to refer it to us.
Al has to refer it to you first in order for
Well,
you to refer it to
Don
ZBA?
would give it to Al. Al
Okay.
looks at it and refers it to us, or
Okay.
the zoning board, or wherever it goes.
All right, I'll show it to Al tomorrow.
Yeah. It's not a big deal, it's
No.
just procedural.
Okay.
You can't, I don't wanna be cutting Al out of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, not at all.
All right, now the discussion of the RFPs with regards to ballot approval of the 2014 meeting date.
Did I not?
Let's cut. Discussion of RFPs with regards to ballot. Did that.
I didn't erase it, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
All right, the supervisor was kind enough to send us a project description and preliminary scope of work letter, and it's a draft that we can fill in particulars for the dates and the meetings and have everything sent to Gina at the planning board, you know, and to the town, you know, to the planning board, and she will have the put these all together for us, for one meeting. It is my understanding that I'm supposed to have, that we're supposed to have this, the 30 days, give it 30 days to get back to us. From the time that we make a motion to send out these, RFPs.
Okay. And is it, do we have to send out 3 or more, is that?
Well, I did send, Gina, a list of, engineers that,
Do you have that list, Gina?
Yes.
and we also have this green plan, this company, environmental planners, who I know that Cliff was interested in. I mean, I don't want to, go overboard, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to answer us. And also, we run the risk of people who might have had something to do with the Bel Air expansion, the Bel Air resort project. They must not have prior involvement in support or in opposition to Crossroads Ventures, resort proposal, or the soon-to-be-released Mountain Ski Center unit management plan. So, you might have, they'll drop off from there. So I thought the most we could get out, the better off would be.
I think you have to show that contact was made with 3.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know that green thing.
The only thing
It was
that
in the packet.
I pulled out some RFPs that I